What is up, board members of the Benerit Group? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are diving back into Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury, Vanadis Heart. Last time, we were introduced to Kiyu and Dr. Vilden, who are roaming around the Earth in Adstella 106. Here we see the fallout of witches and how the Gundam ruined GUND-armed tech for medical purposes. In this episode, we will learn that Dr. Vilde was the one who created a particular gun format tech that helps navigate the data storm. Kiyu also runs into Yushika, and we learn more about the children's past. So let's get into this. Dr. Vilde and Kiyu are still in the same city. The people ask the doctor to help the president walk again. Even though last episode, they blamed her for everything regarding what happened with gun format tech. She gets up and walks away, saying that she can't help him. Given the state of gun format tech, all this would do is put a band-aid on a bigger problem. She mentions a secondary illness that has been popping up in gun format tech patients since the 5 years it has been outlawed. When she says this, she touches her hand, so we can assume that she has gun format and is also suffering from whatever this illness is. But the people say it will serve more for morale. The president was a major proponent in gun format tech and believes in it wholeheartedly. If he could walk just once more, it would do wonders for the morale of the city. Dr. Vilde remembers back to Dr. Cardo Nebo telling her that there will come a day when the GUND becomes humanity's hope. She is starting to understand what Dr. Nebo meant. She decides to help out the president. Meanwhile, Kiyu is still helping with the giant burning man for the upcoming festival. He says that he could get it up faster than Dr. Vilde, and I thought he was making a sex joke, but then remembered Vilde always struggles to wake up. So that's where my mind went. Vilde completes the procedure. The president wakes up and is able to stand once again. The people are thankful. Dr. Vilde wants to get back on the road, but the townsfolk insist that they stay until the festival. Back in the day, this town went through a war and was burned to the ground. The president helped build it back up to what it is now, which isn't much, unfortunately, but the people seem happy. Since the war ended in this town, the city has been holding a festival commemorating its past wars and their ability to rebuild anew. Kiyu is having fun with all the other children. As a Gundam pilot, he instantly became one of the cool kids. Dr. Vilde watches the wooden man burn. She sees that this town confronted their fears head-on. They own their past by turning it into a festival that never allows the people to forget where they came from. Dr. Vilde recognizes that she needs to be more like these people and to stop running away from the Vanadis incident. Her deep thought is interrupted by Kiyu bringing her a skewer of meat. Beef. The next day, they leave the city and continue their travels. While running tests on Kiyu, she is reminded of what one of the townsfolk showed her. As they were leaving, they show the doctor a news article regarding an attack by something that looks an awfully lot like a Gundam. This is on her mind, but her concentration is broken by Kiyu. She mentions that she created the Gundam that Kiyu used, but someone else rewrote the code. The change in the code will shut off Kiyu if he moves 800 meters away from Ilfrith Jew Gundam. This is why, last episode, she was adamant about him staying close to the Gundam. This conversation also breezes past an interesting concept in the Adstella universe. Gun format tech is the advancement of bioengineering. It seems that biology has reached a point where you can program the human body, which means anyone with gun format tech can effectively be hacked. That is kind of frightening. Adstella is an interesting world. Too bad we spent the majority of time here on school duels instead of concepts like this. Dr. Vilde doesn't know how to deactivate this program and has been running tests trying to stop it, but she has yet to find an answer. Kiyu passes out and asks the doctor to protect his heart. His heart is made of gun format tech. While this goes down, the mysterious Gundam begins tearing through a town. Later, the doctor and Kiyu explore the town. Kiyu is distracted by wares, but the doctor says they are there to get intel on this Gundam that has been causing havoc on Earth. The townsfolk say that the Gundam has been suppressing terrorist activities, so they assume that it is Spacians using gun format tech against the Earthians. She thinks of a former employee who we as the audience do not see. She wonders if someone on the Mobile Development Council is doing something behind the scenes. One man says that he heard the rumors in the marketplace, so that is where she should look for more intel. Perhaps they will find answers to him in the marketplace. While she is in her own head, Kiyu runs off on his own and finds himself an orbital elevator pass. They just don't hand these out to anyone. Dr. Vilde freaks out about losing Kiyu when she stumbles onto Yushika, who is looking for what she claims is adult answers. She is looking for Kiyu. Meanwhile, a mysterious man on a cargo plane wonders where she ran off to. His men are tracking her location, which suggests that she too can't be too far away from her Gundam. Yushika is looking for a thank you gift for the man who takes care of her and begins asking the doctor questions. She notices this girl is a lot like Kiyu. Vilde says that this is a roaming black market and that she probably shouldn't buy anything from here. The little girl finds a lighter and makes Vilde buy it for her. She thanks Vilde, not for the gift, but for giving her her heart, just like Kiyu. That is when Kiyu pops up and she instantly recognizes him. Yushika says that they have to go back to the doctor, but Kiyu says that Dr. Vilda is her doctor now, and he isn't going back. Yoshika calls him a doo-doo head and says that he is being selfish. The doctor and Kiyu take their leave after he says that she can't win. The man eventually finds Yoshika, who is the doctor in question. She tells him that they found Kiyu in this town. Dr. Vilda wasn't ready to tell Kiyu of the other potential Gundam pilots, but it looks like the cat is out of the bag. She says that must mean the other Gundam is less than 800 meters from their location. Literally on the next page, Ilfrith Anavata drops down and chases them. That was fast. Dr. Vilda tells Kiyu to put on his pilot's vest, but he doesn't want to. He then remembers Yoshika calling him selfish and starts listening to the doctor. He gets into Ilfrith Ju and the two Gundams stare at one another. That is when the man comes out and greets Vilda by her real name. It seems she wasn't able to hide her identity these past 5 years. They do a fake out. This man isn't the doctor. He pulls out a tablet where the real doctor shows up on a Zoom call. This is Dr. Shijima. The doctor goes by the name Craig Aeon, who is now the chairman leading the Earth Assembly. He has assumed a new identity and a new face, though it doesn't look all too different from his original face. He escaped the Ox Earth Corporation massacre with the Gundam. He had to fight for his life to escape, but in the process of doing so, he was able to raise his permit score. He says it was all thanks to the heart that she implanted. He has a gun format heart as well. Ooh, fake heart gang. He also uses this as an opportunity to show off his cum gutters. We get it, you work out. He says that having a gun format heart allows them to handle the data storm better than average, and that his heart now acts more like a second brain. Vilda realizes that he is putting gun format hearts in children, and he wants the doctor's help. He believes that with her, they can unlock the secrets of the data storm. She wants to leave the past in the past, but Shijima tells her to look around. The Earth is falling apart since the downfall of Ox Earth. Now is the time to make a change. The two of them can shape the world and build what Dr. Cardo Nebo has always dreamt of, a world where even the weakest can flourish. But Dr. Vilda can see that he is just an ends justify the means kind of a guy. This isn't what Dr. Carbo Nebo wanted, and he is just using the doctor's propaganda to shape his self-righteous desires. He is disappointed and has Yoshika begin her attack. Kiyu remembered that the doctor told him to focus on evading and to not kill other Gundams when facing off. As the two fight, Shijima realizes that Dr. Vilda won't allow Kiyu to raise his permit score as she doesn't know how much strain it will put on the heart. He says that Vilda has told the children the truth and refers to them as the Rocking Horse Children. The children were raised in an orphanage that was a front to raise children to fight with Gundam tech. These children are all war orphans and would be dead without them. He says the Rocking Horse Children were given a second chance. This is a nice way of saying what Dr. Brief said in DBZA.
Oh, come now, you can't kidnap an orphan. They weren't wanted in the first place.
They are all designed to die fighting in a Gundam. In a fit of excitement, Yoshika goes to Permit 3. Kiyu is dodging the Narukami gun bits. He throws dust and debris in the way to mess up the gun bits. Shijima says that all kids know is the Gundam and that Dr. Vilda is building him up to where one day the Gundam will be gone and it will break Kiyu. He asks her to join him again, but she says, nah, I'm good, and leaves. So not autistic in nature like we assumed last episode, but rather just a child soldier living in the real world cliche. Kiyu is tired of running away. He hides in the rubble. Chika notices the tiger arm sticking out and goes for the attack, but it is a trick. He detached the tiger arm and sneaks up behind her and does some awesome breakdance fighting. She demands to know why he isn't raising his permit score and says he made a promise not to. The two begin to argue with one another like children instead of fighting. This triggers Yoshika. It seems that even though Kiyu is slow when it comes to social skills, it seems that he is also the most naturally talented of the children. He is seen as number one, and Yoshika is jealous of that. And that will do it for this episode. I am curious as to how the gun format heart will play into mastering the data storm. It seems that while the Space Assembly League was working behind the scenes to create Gundams in the main series, so too was the Earth Assembly League working in the shadows. Next time, we will see Kiyu continue his attack, and he will eventually increase his permit score. Also, we will learn about the Dominicus team that is operating on Earth. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, if you have gun format tech, watch out for malware and viruses. Peace.